Hey, Frank Grillo. We're here to see your gym and fridge. Aw, don't be like that, Frank.
What's up, guys? Derek, moreplates108.com. Today we're going to be reacting to Frank Grillo shows his home gym and fridge in Marvel Strong Core. Gym and fridge, men's health. I don't know why you have gym and fridge twice in the title. Maybe it's some sort of trickery for the fucking algorithm. Oh, even in the hashtags, gym and fridge. Is this like a series? It's got to be. Like, there's no. Why the fuck would you put gym and fridge twice in the same title? Anyway, we did a Natty or Not on Frank Grillo earlier in the year. One of the main notable claims that has been made about this guy's physique is the fact that he maintains 5% body fat perpetually year round.
I talk to everybody in this business. This guy is 52 years old and he has 5% body fat. Yeah. 5%. That's insane.
It is insane and fucking impossible. But again, I don't really blame actors for not knowing, body composition metrics and shit. We see like ridiculous claims all the time. Even fucking Ronnie Coleman said he was like, I don't know, negative body fat or whatever it was, which obviously makes no sense. So anyways, in this video, I dissected this guy's history, went through his physique development. He is insanely jacked for a 55-year-old. Even for a 25-year-old, this guy shits on pretty much everyone that you know at your gym. Like there's very few individuals that walk around that look like this. Even guys on gear, like most guys don't walk around this lean all the time. Like it's very, very impressive. And, I kind of dissected everything, his progress, some of the statements he's made about gear in the past, his, commitment to a natural lifestyle. And by the end of it, we had determined he is actually on TRT, if I recall correctly. And he actually straight up just admits it. Deep into a podcast with Brendan Schaub and Brian, I will be on TRT Callan, but I'm never actually gonna get on TRT. I'm just gonna talk about being on fucking steroids and I'm never actually gonna take steroids. Abuse the fuck out of that joke, Callan. So anyways, he has this video now about his gym and fridge, and obviously to see this guy's diet, like how the fuck do you adhere to a diet model that sustainably keeps you at 5% year round? A lot of people would wanna know, what is your strategy? What is your secret? How do you achieve satiation to a degree that lets you, perpetually maintain this all the time? Very fucking difficult. Not many people can stay in single digit territory, let alone 5%. Now, obviously we know he's not actually 5%, but still, his body fat metrics are fucking great for his age, actually for any age. And he looked absolutely insane, regardless if he's on TRT. The guy has maintained a sick physique his entire fucking life. And it's worth looking at what his diet is, see if he has any diet hacks or appetite, kind of like suppressing tips or anything that might be a useful takeaway, and just to see how intense this shit actually is, and is it sustainable for the average guy.
Hey, Frank Grillo. We're here to see your gym and fridge. Aw, don't be like that, Frank.
Men's Health, you back? You want to see my fridge?
I always wonder if they actually say this stuff in person or if they like dub it over after, because it sounds so unnatural.
Hello, Frank Grillo. We are here to see your gym and fridge.
You want to see my gym? You want to see what I do? Come on.
I think I look pretty good, all things considered.
Heads up. I know everything that's gonna happen.
So what are the staples in the Grillo fridge?
Some of the staples that I always have in my fridge are...
Looks pretty fucking healthy so far.
Oh. It's crossbones from Captain America.
Ah, good one, Frank.
No. Some of the staples I always have in the fridge. Eggs. Because I live the paleo lifestyle. It's mostly lean meats, lean turkey meat, lean beef, grass-fed, lots of greens. I prefer arugula. Being a dad, I have a 13 and a 17-year-old son that live here with me.
Yeah, I remember him mentioning the paleo thing, it's kind of ringing a bell now. And like guys I see who fall off the bandwagon with their diet in general, I see trends of, like highly processed shitty carbohydrates and things that throw off your blood sugar regulation to a point where you get massive fluctuations and cravings. So for him, when you're basically just eating lean meats and greens, like you can see where, you know, it becomes a bit easier to adhere to a strict calorie intake. I can imagine it has a pretty substantial impact on his ability to adhere and make this a sustainable model kind of year round. Like if I recall correctly, he doesn't deviate very much from the plan fucking ever.
I pretty much will put anything in the fridge because I want to make them happy.
Man, Kodiak cakes are the fucking shit, dude.
What would we never find in your fridge?
Things that you'll rarely see in my fridge are things that aren't organic, from even half and half.
Man, the disparity between these two, the freezer and the fridge, like this is Temptation City, bro. Kodiak cakes, Power Waffles, Haagen-Dazs, vanilla Ben & Jerry's. Fuck, and then over here you have your lean meats and your greens, your eggs, some fucking sauces, orange juice, and that's like what? Just a bunch of condiments, and that's pretty much it.
Even half and half, eggs, salad dressing. Usually you'll never see Coca-Cola, soft drinks in my fridge, except if my little son is coming.
No diet drinks. Interesting. Interesting. You know, a lot of guys do use diet pop to, you know, by the way, I don't know. I think in the USA, you guys say diet soda. So when I say pop, people are like, what the fuck, Derek? Diet soda, whatever you want to call it, whatever. So I'm surprised that this guy has none of that. Like this is, you know, that's like next level when you are like even avoiding artificial sweeteners.
And I'll sneak one or two in for him.
What do you eat for breakfast?
Yeah, breakfast is a big issue. And I train in the mornings every day. I train pretty much empty. This is your basic, just add water.
Fuck, dude, those are unreal too. I haven't had those in a while. I used to get these from Costco and they were absolutely absurd.
Pancake mix. And I have to tell you something. I make all kinds of paleo pancakes for myself, meaning it's made with almond flour.
Dude, the US has such better choices of like foods, man. Like anytime I went to the grocery store in the States, the array of options was always just mind-boggling. Like you don't see any of this shit at grocery stores here in Canada.
As opposed to really bad white flour. But these pancakes are the best pancakes, and they're fluffy, and my kids love them, so I make them every day.
How do you take your coffee?
Since I started doing the show Kingdom, I guess it's about 8 years now, I have done what they call bulletproof coffee. And this isn't a setup, this is actually how I live my life. Take a pod, put a pod in, and you can see these creamers here. They make them with the butter. You could actually, it's like an instant bulletproof coffee, and it saturates your stomach with fats, and your body is full for 6 or 8 hours.
Beyond
Yeah, so obviously, you know, having a slow digesting macro in your system early can help give you a bit of fuel. And in addition to that, the coffee itself, obviously appetite suppressing and can give you a bit of sweetness depending on what you add to it, and is a very good way to drag out an intermittent fasting window, in my opinion. Just give you a boost of energy, you know, shut down the appetite cravings a bit early in the day. Obviously, you don't want to be, you know, pushing the envelope, having the shit, you know, late into the afternoon, because then it could interfere with your sleep, which then is going to have a dysregulation of your appetite hormones when you get shitty sleep and end up just biting you in the ass. But if you have it, you know, early enough in the day, obviously one of the best strategies you could deploy. Do you need to have the fats in there though? Not necessarily, and I think it kind of depends on what your diet model is, if it's, you know, a reasonable thing to do, or, you know, what kind of substrate your body kind of, you know, prefers based on your current diet model that you've sort of adapted to.
On the bulletproof coffee, do you take any other supplements?
I do take supplements. I take 10,000 units of vitamin D. I take CoQ10, a daily vitamin. And
so 10,000 IU, is that, you know, a reasonable amount? You would have to get your blood work to check. For some people that might be necessary. For some people that might be overkill. You might end up with calcium deposition. You might end up with, you know, arterial, you know, like calcification problems that you could otherwise avert or attenuate with proper vitamin K2 used concurrently with the D3. But still, just because you have K2 in there, it doesn't mean you can just bomb 10,000 IU of vitamin D3 if you don't necessarily need that much. So I would definitely be getting your blood work and assessing kind of where you're at, and seeing if you even need that much. You know, some people do, but I think the majority of people with like reasonable sun exposure and, you know, maybe a little bit of vitamin D can get their levels to where it should be, you know, without having to bomb 10,000 IU.
turmeric for inflammation. I do tend to get inflamed a bit, not from the food I eat, but from training.
What's your go-to comfort food?
One thing I would recommend about the turmeric or the curcumin is having it away from your workouts. Like, this could have a negative impact on your recovery if you have it too close to your workouts, from what I've seen. If I recall correctly, it might even be an AR antagonist to some extent. I would have to circle back and double check if that's accurate, but I know some of the effects, you know, the anti-inflammatory effects, some of the effects it has on the, you know, health processes on the body are not exactly conducive to muscle growth and, you know, like spiking mTOR and shit. So I would be timing that away from your workout window, ideally.
It's called pizza. I am a pizza fanatic. We have several places here that deliver what we call New York style pizza that taste like me.
That is a hard video to watch right now. Fuck. It's like showing me like all the best foods that I want to like binge eat.
New York style pizza. And I just became a partner in a pizza place that's been here forever called Larchmont Pizza. And so my family will be eating a lot of pizza.
Fuck, dude.
So Frank, do you cook?
Yes, I do cook. I like to cook. I love to cook, actually. I'm Italian, and so Italians...
Yeah, mean goddamn bicep vein garden hose climbing up this goddamn behemoth of a specimen.
eat a lot. I cook everything from pastas, lasagna. I'm a big grill guy, obviously, to eat clean. I think grilled meat's the best thing. Grilled salmon is a staple on our diet. Some grilled grass-fed filet mignons and stuff. I do cook a lot. It is a zen, it's kind of a zen practice cooking for me to just focus on that. It's kind of like why I love.
I wonder how much of this B-roll they like record themselves after the fact, or if they just like recycle footage or what, because they have like pancakes, pizza, fucking cutting peppers up. A lot of good shit going on here, and I can't imagine they use different footage every single time. I don't know.
I love boxing so much. It's because it's repetitive. You focus.
Well, since you brought up boxing, should we hit the gym?
Now would be the time of day that I'd usually finish up my bulletproof and I would hop in my car and go to the gym. But we're gonna do it in my backyard today because I don't have time to get to the gym. And this is what you have to do. So this is the backyard. And I use this pool a lot, as do my dogs. But if you have a pool, getting in the pool and doing laps is great. It's probably the best exercise you could probably do.
So how do you typically start your workouts?
I usually shadow box 3 rounds, 3-minute rounds, 3-minute rounds, about 10 minutes of getting yourself a little bit tired, a little bit sweaty, and then we put the gloves on.
That doesn't look like a normal punching bag.
This bag is what they call an aqua bag. It's filled with water, and it's anatomically, is a good word, the closest to
If you plan on fighting Santa Claus.
human body.
Frank, what inspired you to get fit?
What inspired me to get fit? I have been a fitness fanatic since I can remember. My parents bought me weights when I was probably 10 years old, back when Lincoln was president. And I've always been conscious of diet. There's a certain aesthetic that when I was younger, wanted to have. And it's just been a lifelong quest for, being fit.
How do you keep that core so marble strong?
Stretch my core by using these balls here. You literally stretch the muscles and you.
So the one takeaway, obviously, that I have off the bat is the diet model, aside from when he's, enjoying some pizza or whatever the fuck, he is very strict in a diet model that is high satiation, low potential for cravings. I think we probably expected that. But as far as like the paleo basis for a diet model, is that better than, pure carnivore or pure fucking, I don't know, like pure higher fat adapted keto or whatever? Like ultimately it's whatever you're going to stick to and then stick to your calorie allotment at the end of the day, which for this guy, I can't imagine. Well, I guess it depends how much cardio he's doing, but I can't imagine the calorie intake is that substantial for him to maintain this body composition year round, because he's very fucking lean all the time. But again, obviously the cardio helps massively. It's not just about eating yourself into the ground with a deep deficit. I think nutrients are ultimately going to dictate muscle retention and muscle growth in a way that acts as signaling molecules in the body. This is like if you're spiking mTOR more times per day, or at a more sufficient quantity or a sufficient amount to get a more maximal response. Even if you're then expending those calories, the fact of the matter is you've signaled to your body to do something that you otherwise may have not reached a maximal signal of if you were depriving yourself of nutrients to avoid doing the cardio. So when it comes to energy in versus energy out, I do think there is definitely an argument to be made for finding a sustainable form of cardio that allows you to get deeper into a deficit without having to be as restrictive on your dietary intake. So allowing you to get more micronutrients, more substrate, more hormonal precursors, more spiking of fucking mTOR more times per day, or at a more maximal level, hitting your leucine threshold, whatever it is, but then also expending more calories in the actual calorie expenditure vector to then take advantage of that nutrient molecule signaling, essentially getting those physiologic processes maxed out, and then expending more calories rather than just depriving yourself of nutrients and doing less activity. I think it is definitely the way to go. And for him, obviously, he's found a cardio modality that is very, like fun, more enjoyable, more sustainable. He likes the swimming. He has the punching bag thing like right there, having access to it like right outside your goddamn door. Obviously going to make it more sustainable than a lot of people who have to go to the gym or a rec center or whatever to get access to their pool or something like that. So ultimately finding ways to make like ease of access / ease of like doing what you need to do. If you need to fucking buy an elliptical and put it in your house and that's your preferred modality of cardio, it's mine. Do that, like what's the chance that you're gonna go to the gym, an extra time, an extra however many times per week just to do your elliptical cardio or something? Like zero, like very low. So this is where getting something that you enjoy as close to home is like paramount in my opinion for getting, actually ensuring you stick to your calorie expenditure goals / getting a cardio format in that is going to be sustainable for your entire life.
Core, and then I like to go up into a pike and usually go about 10 minutes on the ball and I roll back and forth. And then I also have any number of, you can do this with weights, you can do this with these, you can do this with a roller, where I'm down on the ground and I'll do 5 sets of 10. Again, just stretching the core.
Okay, so ultimately, how much of an impact does this have on this guy's, sick abs? You've seen this guy's physique, his shredded 5% body fat images all over Google, all over, YouTube and stuff. Like here, this is one of his, where's that iconic fucking picture? Was it this one? Boom, Frank Grillo at 55, looking like a goddamn trend fiend and a half, basically, on just TRT. Not actually, but like the body composition, like a lot of people would be like, oh, this is like heavy steroid use. In reality, like I imagine he's pretty light. I imagine this is just reflective of very low body fat and having enough muscle, but having like a fucking, very solid diet model and very, very sustainably long-standing, cardio regimen in place that he enjoys. But how much does, the ab rollouts and shit play a role in this specifically? It's good for actual like functional movements, being, athletic, being, having different things in place from like a physical aspect rather than actually developing the cores to some significant extent where it wouldn't have looked like this otherwise. Like I think his six pack would always be pretty fucking dialed in, given his body fat percentage. I don't think this plays a huge role on ultimately what his abs look like. So no, I'm basically just trying to say, don't expect that if you do, 500 sit-ups a day that you're suddenly gonna look like this. Obviously, this is reflective of lack of body fat rather than, some significant amount of abdominal development from fucking ab rollouts that circumvents the need to, diet, super strictly / have a super strict cardio regimen. Like this guy is peeled, fucking peeled, dude. So again, nothing wrong with ab movements. I definitely recommend you implement them and still, focus on them just like you would any other movement, but that's not going to be the needle mover that determines if you have visible abs versus not.
Now that your core is stretched, we're going to hit you with some rapid fire questions while you beat up that bag.
Yes.
I always find it funny how they ask them questions when they're in the middle of exercising. They're like, go into like peak fucking exhausted territory and then we're gonna make you answer questions. And like sometimes they get fucking pissed when it happens, it seems like.
First up, run on the treadmill or run in the great outdoors?
Always the great outdoors. Always, always,
Oh, he's not answering while he's exercising. That's not what I saw usually. The fuck?
always.
Biggest compliment: jacked, ripped, swole, or cut?
Biggest compliment is ripped.
Time to hit the gym: 7 a.m. or 7 p.m.?
7 a.m. workout time. 7 a.m.
Squat or deadlift?
Both squat and deadlift.
Favorite song on your workout playlist?
The Who, Eminence Front.
CrossFit, yay or nay?
CrossFit, nay.
Dumbbells or kettlebells?
I would say dumbbells.
Cardio or weights?
Absolutely need both cardio and weights.
If you could work out with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
That would be my guy, Mr. Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Who saw that coming?
Last one: big legs or big arms?
I say all about proportion and balance. We have something in West Hollywood that's really funny, which is the guys with these amazing big upper torsos, and they have dental floss for legs. Hey guys, thanks for coming by my house. Letting you in my refrigerator was fun. I gotta go do some things, but I'll see you next time.
Fuck yeah. See you guys next time for another episode of Gym and Fridge. So anyway, kind of what I expected. I forgot about the paleo approach though, but it's definitely notable that there are certain diet models that definitely, I believe, encourage satiety more than others. And I do think that the approach he is taking is probably more sustainable. It's not as balanced potentially, but it's a more sustainable than what a lot of people's diet models will be, where they're implementing, you know, like shitty carbs and trying to fit it into an if it fits your macros window. Because ultimately his insulin and blood sugar regulation, I think, will be more optimal for avoiding cravings and, you know, creating that dysregulation effect where you end up with, you know, big swings and fluctuations that cause you to basically fall off the bandwagon and just binge on shit. And like for him, the fact that he can keep that stuff in his house and still not, you know, fall off the deep end and binge on it just shows, you know, how well his actual diet is working, where he could just adhere to it, you know, like fucking like butter, dude. And he will eat stuff when he wants, you know, once in a while, but ultimately he sticks to his, you know, egg, lean meat, you know, greens focused diet model, and seems to be fucking working for him. So solid, you know, and the form of cardio I think is definitely, you know, worth touching on, because this shit, like ultimately a lot of these videos are just basic, like rudimentary, common sense shit, and it's like, oh, like another one of these videos, like how many times can we see a guy show his gym and fridge? But I don't think people really highlight the importance enough of finding a cardio modality that is like as close to your fucking home as possible and is as easily to access as possible to increase the likelihood of you do it. Like I literally moved an elliptical into my fucking office to encourage me to do it post meals. Like I like to do my 10-minute walks post meals, and the likelihood that I'm literally gonna like go leave my place and like walk up and down my street every fucking time I eat is almost zero. But when there's an elliptical like right, you know, in my place, in my office, 2 seconds away, not that hard to, you know, adhere to. It's just a few steps away, bro. You know, just step on after your meal. Not a big deal. Versus, oh, like go downstairs, you know, walk outside, go all the way, you know, to fucking, I don't know, 10 blocks away and then 10 blocks back, whatever it is. Like it's like ultimately you're walking outside, but it's just like the mental block for whatever reason, you know, prevents a lot of people from doing cardio at the end of the day. So whatever you need to do to make it as centralized and easy to do and enjoyable as possible, I definitely highly recommend figuring what that is. You know, like for him having a pool like right there, huge, dude. If swimming's your favorite thing, like what's the likelihood you're gonna go to the rec pool like 4 times a week versus, you know, just jump in the backyard? I don't know. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What is your preferred format of cardio? Did you find a difference when you know, switched between certain things? Did you find things more easier to adhere to? Have you tried a paleo style diet model for staying lean, you know, sub 10% or close to that within striking distance of it year round? Did you find it more sustainable and easier to adhere to than a traditional, you know, like if it fits your macros, like 40-40-20 fucking carb, protein, fat split or whatever? Let me know. All the comments help the algorithm. They're much appreciated. Like, subscribe, check out my blog, moreplates.com. Follow me on Instagram, @moreplates.dates. Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, Apple Podcasts. If you want to support the channel, you can check out anything I'm associated with in the video description below. My TRT clinic. All telemedicine from the comfort of your own home. Get high quality medical oversight from doctors who understand what kind of diagnostics you should be getting in the first place and how to interpret them. And not just put you on a cookie cutter script of TRT plus HCG plus anastrozole, like most of these clinics will do in the country, unfortunately, just to make a markup on medications, get you out the door and get the next guy in. We are not a testosterone mill. We are a preventative medicine and health optimization clinic that prides ourselves on practicing evidence-based medicine with highly educated doctors who are consistently educating themselves with the most recent literature to stay on top of their game and ensure you're getting the most accurately representative of the newest cutting-edge information, high-quality care. And that is what we pride ourselves on, is the high-quality information and education of our patients rather than the cookie cutter scripts, that other companies are pumping out. We, make the markups on the diagnostics, the lab work, the doctor consultations, and then the medication markups are a much lower priority on our bucket list. We make our bread and butter through the other shit, through our services, and that's how it's going to stay. And that's one of the many ways we separate ourselves from a lot of other clinics in this country, as well as the fact that our doctors are all vetted by myself personally, and we have high quality control practices in place now to train guys to help further educate them as they come in too, to ensure everyone is staying on top of the cutting edge as we progress. And we have a high quality standard that we hold for our team, and we maintain that throughout all of our patient oversight. So check it out if you want a high quality doctor. I cannot stress the importance of that enough. As well as Grillo Mind, nootropic formulas, Grillo Mode, pre-workout formulas I designed myself from scratch. My recommended diet model for gaining muscle and sports performance, whilst being mindful of micronutrient intake, commonly overlooked factor of cookie cutter influencer diet models that do if it fits your macro style bullshit that they sell on Instagram and ebooks and whatnot. As well, clothing company that sponsors me, good fitting shit, great for the gym, great for going out in. They have a wide array of Their catalog has a wide array of different clothing at this point that features a hybrid of different things, whether it's, going out on a date, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's, going for a run. Like, it's pretty fucking diverse at this point, and I really like their stuff. I wear it a lot more. Like, I find it, dominating a greater majority of my wardrobe choices than it used to when there were just less choices, and they were more of like a, just like a gym focused company or like an athleisure focused company sort of thing. They're becoming more diverse, and I like their shit. So anyways, check it out if you want to support me as well as anything else that supports the channel. It is all in the video description below. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you soon.